Morning, guys. This morning we're going to be doing a brisket on the Kamado Joe. Started pretty early this morning. It's a balmy 45 degrees outside. But we're doing it on the Kamado Joe. Holds the heat really good, so I think we're going to be fine. I got the brisket all prepped and ready to go here, so we're going to give you a peek at what that looks like. Here you can see this is a 17.5 pound brisket, pretty big. So we got some family coming in for New Year's, so we wanted to have plenty of brisket to go around. So I've already got this brisket trimmed up. I've got it seasoned already. Today I'm just using the brisket rub that I get from HEB. I like that. Sometimes I'll just do 50-50 salt and pepper, but that works really well, and we've been happy with it. So I'm not showing the trimming and the prep of the meat or anything. I might do a video later on where I go into all of those details. This was a full packer brisket, and I did have to trim it up. I left about a 1/4 inch of fat up on top before I seasoned both sides. It's been sitting now for about 30 minutes or so with the seasoning. I do about 15 minutes on each side, just to let that adhere really well, and also to let the brisket sort of come up to room temperature. At the same time, I've been getting my Kamado up to temp. Let's see if you can see this here on the iPad. So we're at about 218. My target temp is 225. So we're getting really close. I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. It's going to be getting 225 really soon. So let's take this out onto the grill and get it going. All right, guys, we've got the pit coming up. We got the temperature right at 225, just below 225. So we're ready to go ahead and get this brisket on. Just to show you what I've done on the inside here. Let's open this up. Always remember to burp your Kamado. Let the air in there before you. We got a lot of smoke. So I'm smoking on oak wood today. You can also see I've got a tray. I've got my flexible cooking system in there with the ceramic discs down at the lower level, and then I've got that suspension star in the middle, and I've put a foil tray in there and filled it up with water. So that's going to allow some good moisture to stay in the Joe as this brisket is cooking. It's going to be cooking all day today, so usually it'll last the whole cook, but if not, we'll add some more water. All right, so let's see if we can get this brisket on here. See if I can do it with one hand. All right. All right, put that sucker right in the middle. It's a big brisket. Fills up the just about the whole Joe. Let's get him closed up here. All right, there we go. And we'll come back and check on him later. Okay, guys, we've been going for right at about 7.5 hours, and figure it's a good time. I want to open it up, just check and see what we're looking like, and make sure we still got water in the pan, and just a checkup. We're about halfway through. So burp the grill. Okay, come up. All right, we're getting a good nice bark on there. Got plenty of water down there. Yeah, we got some pooling there from the juices. Fat's rendering down. Yeah, this is looking really nice. All right, I'm going to close her up. I don't want to leave it open too long. We'll come back and check on her again in a few more hours. All right, we're just a little over 8 hours here, and I got my internal temperatures right at 160. I've got two thermometers in here, actually. Let's take a look. So I've got one here in the flat, and I've got another one in the point there, so I can keep track of both of those. I try to get my briskets where we've got as much symmetry from the flat to the point. In other words, that they're about as close as in terms of thickness as you can get. That way they cooks more evenly. But I've got the probe again at both ends there, and that way I can monitor the temperature. They're doing pretty good. They're really close. I think the point was 159, or sorry, 157, and the flat was at 159. So within 2 degrees, that's pretty dang good. So in any case, coming up right there at 160. I'm going to go ahead now and wrap this sucker up. I got my foil prepped here. I'm going to wrap it up and try not to get my probe cords all tangled up. We'll put it back on and let it go. So time to get it wrapped up. Now that I got it off of the Joe there, I wanted to, before I wrap it up, I just wanted to show here that I really am digging the bark here right on the ends. We got some, I don't want to break it up too much or anything, but the bark is coming along real nice right there. So this is, I'm really pleased with how this one's coming out. So we're going to wrap it up now, and hopefully we'll speed up the end just a little bit, although that's not really my primary goal. But I would like to eat this before 10 o'clock tonight, so we'll see what this gets us. But we'll wrap it up and get them back on the Joe. All right, we got them wrapped up here now, and you'll see there that I fed through the probe wires through the foil. I've got this sucker wrapped with 2 layers of foil. It's going to hold it in real nice. And again, I just fed these probes carefully through the foil there, so we could keep the temperature, keep an eye on the temperature as it's cooking. So I think we're good to go now. We're going to leave her for another, I don't know, probably going to be another 4 or 5 hours at least. And then we'll pull them off and cut into it and see how it came out. All right, well, it's been just under 12 hours, and I don't know if you can see that. I don't think you can, but the iGrill is showing 195. That's on the point. The flat's at about 200, so that's not too bad. So I am ready to pull this one off. And going to drop him in the ice chest right there. And I like to let him sit for 30 minutes to an hour. And then we're going to cut into this bad boy. Okay, I got it wrapped up placed in the ice chest. This bad boy barely fit, actually. I went ahead and hooked up the probes again. You can see it there flashing. That's the flat that's flashing an alarm at me. That it's reached 201, so it's over temperature. The point is currently at 196, teetering right there between 196 and 197. I've hooked those up just purely out of curiosity. I'm gonna leave it sit for at least 30 minutes, and just curious to see what the temperature does as it sits in the foil and in this ice chest. So we'll give it about 30 minutes, and then we're gonna cut this bad boy open. All right, guys, welcome back. So we got the brisket out. It's been sitting for about an hour, maybe a little bit more than an hour. I went ahead and got cleaned up and everything. I wanted to be fresh for this reveal and the final cut. I mentioned in the last take that we left the thermometers in, the temperature probes. I wanted to see what the temperature was doing in the ice chest. Sometimes you're going to cook a brisket and then you're going to take it to family, out of town, something like that for a holiday. I had the brisket in there for about an hour, and the temperature didn't drop, not 1 degree actually. It held, both probes showed the same temperature. Now as soon as I took it out, I set it here on the counter for, it's been here for about 15 minutes or so, something like that. And so we're losing, temperature pretty quickly, of course. But holding it in an ice chest like I did is a good method. You can hold it for several hours and while you're gonna travel and go eat with family. All right, we're gonna get this thing unwrapped now, and gonna get cut and see what it looks like on the inside. So now I'm expecting there's gonna be quite a bit of juices and things here, so I'm gonna try to be careful not to make too much of a mess. I can also go ahead and get rid of my iGrill. Just trying to be careful. Oh man, yeah, we got a ton of juices actually. That's a good thing, but can be kind of messy, so we're really gonna be careful. And I probably should have opened this up in a pot or something. So let's just be super careful. That looks really good. So guys, if you can see that there, you can see that this thing, first of all, has got a really nice bark on it. So I'm really I'm liking the bark that we're seeing there, so that's really good. Let's get these probes out. So it's got a really, really nice bark, but it's really collected and sitting in its juices, and that's really great. You know, we're going to end up, oh, this is just pulling apart on us, so that's fantastic. All right, so I'm going to, now that we've opened this up, I am going to, we'll pause on this. I want to get the brisket out of the foil here. I don't want to spill all of this juice. We're going to get it onto the cutting board, and then we're going to actually get to cutting, all right? Be right back. All right, guys, so we got it all cleaned up. We got the brisket here on the cutting board. Before I get started, I just want to say, if you like this video, please give me a like. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Love to see you back here. All right, so I went ahead and separated the point from the flat, and I just did that off camera there. So we're ready to go ahead and turn this now. I'm gonna just trying to get that out of the way right there. Now, there's a lot of schools of thought here in terms of what you do with this fat. Some people like to leave it on. Some people like to cut it off. I personally like to leave it on. So I'm not gonna trim it up or do any of that sort of stuff right now. I'm just going to find the grain here, and I can see my grain. I just like to cut a little piece. I can see my grain right there is running this way, so we're just going to cut a few slices off right here, and I like to take some samples from a couple of different ends here, so coming apart right there. So let's just oh well, that's just coming off like butter. So let's get in here and get a few slices. There we go. Yeah, it's coming off real nice. Now, for those of you Kamado Joe cookers out there, I'm going to tell you one thing. If you're looking for a real deep red smoke ring, if you find a way to do it on the Kamado, please let me know. Comment down there. I'd love to hear about it. My experience has been on the Kamado. I like cooking on it for a lot of reasons, but you're not cooking with the same amount of wood. You're not going to get the same amount of smoke as you would in a traditional grill, so you don't typically see the same sort of smoke ring and that sort of behavior in a brisket. So that is, I would say, a downside, but the tenderness, it's a lot easier to cook on the Kamado, I think. So there's a lot of pros as well. But in any case, we've got this here. I'm going to go ahead and take a bite of this, and let's see how it came out. That's really good. So, sorry about that. I took a big bite. Actually, you saw that it just came apart. I took a bite, and I just wanted a little bite, but it took a big chunk off of it. And that's really because this is just really tender. You can see there, it's just pulling apart. Very tender, very nice brisket, actually. I'm really happy with it. Now, I always like to get this end, the grain is going to be typically a little tighter over here. I like to get some too from this other side, which has been under the point. And there's a number of reasons for that. Number one, now actually we've got a little bit of the point meat is still here. You'll notice that the grain on the flat was running a little more that way, so I think we got a little bit. But I like this end of it here because this is sitting underneath the point where there's a lot of fat, and yeah, this is good. You know, and what you want in your brisket is that it'll easily pull apart, but not fall apart holding it. Like, it should be able to hold its weight like this, and this one's doing really good, but it's really, really tender. So let's take a bite of this one here. That's delicious. Really, really good. All right, guys, well, I'm going to get the family in here because they're ready to eat, and we're going to cut this brisket up some more, and we're going to have ourselves a New Year's dinner. I want to thank you for spending your time watching me here today, and hey, good luck out there grilling. If you got some comments, I'd love to hear them, critiques, whatever you want to say. Thanks, guys, for joining me today.